I'm Danielle Godwin, and today I will be presenting my research project on the reality and perceptions of public transport in Perth. First, I will describe the impacts and importance of transport, then I will discuss the research project, its basis in literature, and then finally the grant. Transport is one of the leading causes of emissions in an urban setting, with the Climate Council stating that transport is Australia's third largest source of greenhouse gas emissions, with the highest rates of growth, of which approximately half is cars. In dense cities such as Los Angeles, New York, and Moscow, congestion from private transport use has become a serious issue. In Perth, the peak hour congestion has become a common weekday drama. Increased traffic brings a range of effects. Immediate impacts on health include the well-known range of respiratory and heart-related illnesses, but also the increasingly acknowledged emotional toll caused by time spent in traffic. Further to this are issues of pollution, which impacts on both biotic and abiotic features of the landscape, resulting in increased costs in terms of infrastructure, but more importantly on the supporting services of our surrounding ecosystem. Looming above all of this is the greater threat of climate change. Of our global CO2 emissions, transport accounts for 26%. Increasing public transport use is a necessary solution to significantly cutting the volume of emissions from private transport. However, patronage of public transport in Perth appears to be in decline. Transport Minister Rita Saffioti stated that if you make it convenient, affordable and accessible, people will use public transport. Anecdotal evidence from a brief survey conducted by Godwin showed that cost was a significant factor in people's avoidance of Transperth, with some participants stating that they felt it was cheaper to drive than take public transport. Despite this perception, the average annual cost of using public transport was shown to be significantly lower than the average annual cost of private vehicle ownership and use. Thus, the question I wish to answer is, given the trend of decline in public transport patronage, how strongly is this influenced by convenience, affordability, accessibility, and the perception of these three factors? With this in mind, what I would like to do is compare actuality with perceptions. I will do a quantitative study of all public transport use in Perth for the year of 2017 and a qualitative analysis of public perceptions both from users and non-users of public transport. These two analyses will be conducted in terms of convenience, affordability, and accessibility. These will then be compared to determine how public transport in Perth stacks up in reality against perceptions. This will provide a solid foundation to guide future actions on how to increase public transport rates by determining what specific aspects of the service need to be improved or changed. The way we get around has implications for our city structure, and our perceptions influence our actions. Vieira and Cabral's study on perceptions of public transport in Portugal highlighted the significance of perceptions of service in levels of use. They found that attitude towards transport was an important determinant for transport choice, that non-users of public transport, specifically buses, tended to harbour comparatively more negative perceptions of the service than regular users, while most car users underestimated the cost of car use. Similarly, Lian Chen's study in Taiwan highlighted that perceived value affected passengers' behavioural intentions, which was influenced by perceptions of service quality. Although, as he and Thorengensen describe in their study of attitudes and perceptions around transport in Guangzhou, impressions of private transport as being better influence people's continued or prospective use of the mode. Perceptions of quality as determined by price and level of service influenced usership, according to Redman and others, in their study of attributes of public transport which attract car users, with reliability being a key attribute. What appears to be the theme in the literature reviewed is the strength of perceptions of public transport, which isn't necessarily an accurate reflection of the service itself, but also that improvements to the physical service tended to increase usership, as it was viewed as a value increase to users. What this indicates is the potential of reconciling perceptions with reality of service. I have chosen the Australian Research Council's Discovery Early Career Research Award. I've chosen this grant as this research project complies with their list of objectives. Murdoch University is able to be the administering organisation. It will be able to provide sufficient funding, and the endorsement of both a recognised tertiary institution and government funding will lend credibility when requesting access to data from Transperth. This research project aims to support the growth of research and innovation with the intention of enhancing the quality of life in Australia. Thank you for watching.